Hi friends. This story time we're going to read the book Will I Have a Friend? Hi. Story by Miriam Cohen, illustration by Lillian Hoban. When Pa was taking Jim to school for the first time, Jim said, "Will I have a friend at school?" "I think you will," said Pa, and Pa smiled down at him. That's what he calls his dad. He calls him Pa. In the big schoolroom, Pa said goodbye. Jim didn't say anything. He didn't want to say goodbye. "Come, Jim," the teacher said. Have you ever felt like that? Where, say, mom or dad or some family member drops you off somewhere and then they leave to go be somewhere else and you don't want to say goodbye because you feel a little bit sad that they're leaving? Yeah, me too. Yeah, it's not an easy feeling. All the boys were making noise and the girls were laughing. Where was his friend? How do you think he feels? Yeah, that feeling of not being sure if you are going to have a person that you're going to be able to talk to and play with, that can be a very scary feeling. The teacher said, "Here is Bill. He's a rocket man." Bill said, and he rocketed off. Anna Maria walked by. She was pulling a wagon filled with blocks. Jim looked at them. Anna Maria skipped away. Jim went over to a big table. There were lumps and humps of gray clay on it. The children were pulling and pinching, poking and patting the clay. So clay is a lot like Play-Doh. It just is a little bit more firm, and when you make something out of it and let it dry, it stays that way forever. They were making snakes, hills, holes, and a banana. Jim reached out and touched the clay. It was cool and wet. When he picked it up, it was heavy. This clay is definitely heavier than Play-Doh. I don't know about colder though, because there were some days, some mornings, remember how cold the Play-Doh used to be? Jim made a man, but he did not have a friend to show him to. Now it was orange juice and cookie time. George said, "I want to pass the cookies." "Look," shouted Bill, "I bit the moon." "So did I," said Anna Maria. Jim thought of something to say. He said it to Joseph, but Joseph's mouth was full of cookies, so he didn't answer. The pitcher was empty and juice time was over. He's trying. Sarah was telling Margaret a secret. Jim looked at them. Where was his friend? How do you think Jim's feeling? It's probably getting harder the longer he's going and not connecting with a friend. Danny was shouting, "Let's do funny tummies." Danny poked out his tummy and bumped Willie's. Willie bumped Sammy's. When they bumped, they laughed and yelled, "Hello, Mr. Funny Tummy." And Jim laughed too. The teacher called, "Come to story time." All the children came running. Jim sat next to Paul. The teacher read them a book about a monkey. Danny jumped up. "I'm a monkey," he said. He put his tongue in his lip and stuck his fingers in his ears. Jim thought he looked just like a monkey. What do you think? Can you make your face look like a monkey? Perfect. The teacher said, "It's time for monkeys to rest." They laid down on their mats. It was hard for them to lie still. So at some preschools, when the kiddos stay there all day, they have a nap time in the middle of the day so that they can get some rest. Jim looked at the ceiling. He scratched his foot, then he rolled over, then he rolled back. Someone was looking at him. It was Paul. He had something in his hand. When rest time was over, everyone got up. "Look what I have," said Paul. He showed Jim a tiny truck. Jim reached out and Paul put it in his hand. "The doors really work," said Paul. "I have a gas pump," said Jim. "I'll bring it tomorrow." Do you think Jim is starting to feel a little bit better? Anna Maria called, "Jim and Paul, do you want to play?" "Okay," Jim asked Paul. "Okay," said Jim. After school, skipping home, Jim said to Pa, "Do you know what? I have a friend at school." "I thought you would," said Pa, and Pa smiled down at him. His dad knew he was going to make a friend. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of time. The end. I hope you enjoy that story. Thanks for visiting, and I hope to see you soon.